Well, happy May, almost over. It's good to see everyone, and thank you all so much for joining us. This session that we're going over today is the third training, and it is data analysis, synthesis, and sense making. Alex has just dropped in the note catcher that we sent out earlier today. I apologize for just sending it out today. I forgot I was going to be out of the office yesterday, so I sent it this morning. And I also sent it to the DQIT team on accident, y'all. So everybody has it. But so good to see y'all. Also excited to share that we have Dr. Sarah Gudenkopf from the Maya team was able to join us today. We talk about Sarah often. She is actually the project manager or leader for this project. So she sees a lot of Deborah, but now she gets to join us today. And so happy to have you join us today, Sarah.
I'm so excited to get to know you all and see the great work that you're doing.
Okay, well, we have a lot to cover today. We are going to 5 o'clock. We thank you all for allowing us to push the time back so that we can ensure that you have all the information you need moving forward. So here's a session overview for today. There are 3 sections. Section 1 will be over the data analysis overview. And then section 2 will be synthesizing and analyzing focus group data. And then section 3 is synthesizing and analyzing time audit data. So the objectives for today will be you have reviewed the data analysis protocol. At the end of the session, you will have reviewed the data analysis protocol, have practiced using the data analysis protocol. You'll be prepared to analyze the focus group data for all 3 campuses, and you'll be prepared to analyze the time audit data for all 3 campuses. So let's jump into section 1. The data analysis group participatory approach. We're going to use the group participatory approach to analyze the data you have collected. The approach will assist with not only disseminating the data, but also help you as a team begin to brainstorm next steps based on the data. This approach will also allow for expertise to be shared from all stakeholders by providing platform for all voices. It will also build data culture and capacity for your district.
All right, so what is the data analysis protocol we're going to be using? This slide, I'm going to talk through kind of like the overview of it. And then the slide after that, we're going to go in and I'm going to share my screen and walk through it. But really the whole goal of the data analysis protocol is what LaTanya shared, as well as to assist you in working with the other 2 teacher researchers at your district to make meaning across the data collected at all 3 campuses. So right now, all of the data is kind of siloed into your focus group and time audit data at Campus 1, Campus 2, Campus 3. This data analysis protocol is going to work to synthesize all of that data and make meaning from it. So the data analysis protocol is broken up into 2 distinct steps. The first is making factual observations, and the second is to identify plausible causes. So when we say make factual observations, it sounds much easier than it is, but we want to look at the data and kind of reiterate what it is factually telling us. What do you see? What do you observe? What do you notice? These cannot be anything that are can vary between people. There's no assumptions or beliefs that come into it. It's strictly what do you see? Maybe it's Campus 1 has Campus 1 teachers were more highly satisfied with their position than teachers at Campus 2. It clearly says that in the data. Step 2 is then identifying plausible causes of why could this be happening? So that's when you come in and share your assumptions, your beliefs. That's going to vary by your role. So that's when your experience and your lens will really come into the analysis process. But we want to hold off on bringing that in until we all have a solid understanding of what the data is factually saying. So really quick, I'm going to share my screen to walk through the data analysis protocol. Oops. All right, make it a little bit bigger. So you'll notice that this is the data analysis protocol for the time audit data. There's another one that's for the focus group data. They're specific because of the way that they're organized. They will group the data. So in this, you'll notice that it says upfront data. So this is the data that you're analyzing during this step of the protocol. And that's total hours worked in the time diary tab. I'll go over that, what that actually looks like during the next section. But this is just knowing that's the data you're analyzing in this. Then it includes a specific variables. So this is specifically looking at, on average, how many total hours did teachers work each day and over the course of the week? What was the range in hours? So then again, your first step is going to be to make these factual observations. When we work through the protocol, the process is always first working independently, spending time reviewing the data, making your factual observations, and then spending time as a group to share out like, what were others' factual observations? You would think that everyone would notice the same, but different things will call out to different people. These are just different probes that you can use. So what are the commonalities among the data? What's similar across campuses? What's different? Is there anything you expected to see but did not? And then also, what questions do the data raise? That's less a factual observation, more so of maybe is there something else we need to look into. The next phase of or step in the protocol is identifying plausible causes. So this is, again, when you start thinking about why might this be happening. I like to think about it really linearly. So for each factual observation, what is a potential cause of this? Again, we want this to vary by person. It's going to vary by teacher, by experience you have, by grade level you teach, by building you're at. And we want to hear all of those because that's how we're going to reach a consensus and a strategy that's going to be the most effective for your district. Once I go on, so each protocol is 2 pages. Once I go on to the next one, it goes into the next chunk of data, which again, I'll walk through, but then you'll go into the hours worked by activity and follow that same process. Task alignment, same process. I'm going to jump back to this. So that's a data analysis protocol template that you guys will work through. So thinking about the logistics of this, we really want this to be done in person. I know that's a big ask, but we're going to give you time at the end of this session to meet with your district teacher researchers to kind of plan out how this can occur by June 18th. If you can't hit that specific deadline, we understand. We can give you some room for flexibility. We just really need to have this done so we can prepare for the July convening. When we think about roles and responsibilities of this, there's kind of 2 main roles. We're going to have one, you identify a lead. So of the 3 teacher researchers, someone just takes the lead. Really, that just entails kind of helping keep everyone on track in the meeting. So kind of facilitating the meeting and then just taking notes on the final protocol. And then the other participants, we highly, highly recommend that everyone, including the lead, do your independent review of the data prior to the meeting. This kind of keeps it so you can spend more of your time to talk collaboratively about what's observed. Presented here and in the notes is a focus group data meeting agenda template. You do not have to use this, but this is just kind of an example of the approach to the agenda we use. So again, it talks about and organizes it into 10-minute increments, showing what data you'll review. This is assuming that you all have done your observations, maybe your factual observations and potential causes prior to this meeting. So then for each kind of group of data, you'll spend 5 minutes to share out what you observed, and then 5 minutes to share out plausible causes. And again, during this time, everyone would have their individual protocols, and then the lead would be taking notes on the one collaborative protocol. So that section was really to provide you with an overview of what the data analysis protocol looks like. We're now going to jump into section 2, which is synthesizing and analyzing focus group data. What I'm first going to talk about is kind of how the data is synthesized, then how we'll go through and actually do the analysis using that protocol that I just walked through, and then give you guys time in district breakout rooms to actually practice this process. Okay, so first, the focus group synthesis document. So Maya, our team, synthesized your focus group data for you. So in your district specific folders that you can access from the hub, if you click into under phase 1 and then focus groups, you'll find the synthesis document for your district. I included the specific names here. So Temple, yours is focus group synthesis _ Temple. And then Lytle, yours is focus group synthesis _ Lytle. This document includes the themes and summaries from each of the 3 campus focus groups, and they're color coded. So you're going to work to analyze the data from this document. I'm going to walk through and show you kind of what an example of that document looks like. All right, so presented here is an example synthesis document. Up front, you'll see there's a key. This is going to show you what the color coding means. So for each of your districts, there's one campus that's blue, one's green, one's red. This is just going to help you when you're doing that first factual observation to be able to quickly compare and say, like, I'm noticing this a lot at the elementary versus not at the middle, or I'm seeing a lot of commonalities. It's really going to ease that process. There's also the total number of focus groups facilitated. So this is important information to include because it's going to be included in the needs assessment that the district quality improvement team is going to put together based on your presentation at the July convening. So it's just really important in terms of including the methodology in the needs assessment. So being able to say, this is how many focus groups were facilitated with total number of participants. So next you'll see, this is a very, this is only showing responses to one question. So your synthesized document is much longer and it's organized by question. So this is just showing for one specific focus group question. You'll notice though yours are much longer. So what it has is the question in the first row. This is what are the tasks or duties that are non-instructional, but essential to teaching and your student success. You'll see in blue are the themes that were noted by the elementary. Green are the themes that were noted by the middle. Red are the themes that were noted by the high school. Again, when I synthesize this, I just copied over everything. So if you see notes that are mentioned in both the elementary and middle, that's good because that's showing you that's a theme across campuses. The next row is I copied over the summary that was included under each. Again, color coding them. When you're doing this analysis process, you're really going to focus on looking at these patterns and themes. This is where you're going to be going and saying, like, what am I seeing that is only happening at one grade? What is standing out? What did I expect to see? What do I not? If there's anything where you need further explanation or you're not really sure of maybe these do sound related, that's when you'll go to the summary and read that. But really, you're going to be focusing on these overall themes that stood out. All right, so the one piece that I need from you guys to finish up the focus group synthesis document is to record the total number of focus groups that took place at each of your districts. I had a guess based on when I was pulling the data of the number of focus groups that were held. If I'm not correct, just update that. But if you can include the number of participants that were at each, that would be great.
I have a quick question.
Yep.
we don't count as a participant, right? Or do you want us to count ourselves?
I wouldn't include yourself. We'll just
Okay.
count the facilitator. Good question.
Okay.
Any other questions about kind of filling that piece up front? Any questions about either accessing your synthesis document or kind of what it looks like? All right, quiet means good, hopefully. So now we're going to jump into kind of what this process actually looks like. So when you're analyzing the focus group data, you'll need to have the following resources open. First, your synthesis document that again is combining all that data from all 3 campuses, and then your focus group data analysis protocol. I recommend either having them both printed out in hard copies or having them both pulled up on your computer in like 2 different screens so you can look at both at the same time. You'll be taking notes on the protocol as you review the synthesis document. And then, as I mentioned on the last slide, you're going to work through the data analysis protocol, which will guide you through the analysis of each focus group question. And then when analyzing the data, focus on the patterns and themes row. We really want to stay high level at that area, only going to the summary when needed for more clarification. So to show you an example of what this process looks like, and this is, if I was doing this, again, I would either have my synthesis document and data analysis protocol printed out, or I would have them both pulled up on my screen. On the left here is just a zoomed in portion of that synthesis document, only including those patterns and themes. I only did that because I wanted to be able to present everything on the screen here. But again, that first step is going through and identifying those factual observations. So if I looked in here, these were just 4 that stood out to me. So the first was collaboration with colleagues was a theme that arose from both the elementary and middle school focus groups. Communication with parents was only noted as a theme from the elementary school. Providing emotional and mental health supports was a theme that arose from both the elementary and high school focus groups. Special education coordination and compliance was a theme that arose from both the middle and high school focus groups. So again, this is just a subset. I could pull out a lot more factual observations from this. And that's why it's really important for all of you to do this individually and then share out what you identified as a group, because you're going to have a really robust list of factual observations. And this is going to be a really strong way for you to begin to understand what it looks like across your campuses. After you have made those factual observations, then you jump into actually looking at plausible causes. Again, you want to be looking really linearly of here's what I observed, here's a plausible cause. Again, the factual observations are something that you cannot have an opinion on. Everyone should be able to say, this is a fact, this is what the data says. But the plausible causes are opinions, and they can and actually should vary by individual. Because like I said, you all bring different lenses and experiences to this. So again, presented on the left is each of those observations I noted. And then these are some plausible causes. Obviously, this is a fictional district, but just go with me. So the first observation, collaboration with colleagues, was a theme that arose from both the elementary and middle school focus groups. A plausible cause that was shared. New curriculum was being implemented at both those campuses. There was an elementary is in the first year, and the middle school is in the second year, and this has been requiring increased collaboration with the colleagues. The second observation was that communication with parents was only noted as a theme from the elementary focus groups. A plausible cause, Teachers are the primary point of contact in elementary for each student's academic and social development. Whereas in middle school, they have different counselors, they have a larger array of teachers as well as in high school. The third observation, providing emotional and mental health supports is a theme that arose from both the elementary and high school focus groups. Plausible cause, there's no school counselor that's staffed at the elementary, and this is causing teachers to fill this role. There's also a vacancy at the high school, resulting in only one school counselor at the high school. And then lastly, special education coordination and compliance was a theme that arose from both the middle and high school focus groups. Plausible cause, special education coordination becomes more complex after elementary, as there are an increased number of staff working with students. So again, you can see how the plausible causes, people have opinions about them, and they're going to vary based on your experiences, based on what campuses you've been at, based on how long you've been in your position. And that's where we want those really rich discussions to occur. Before I go into our kind of task and breakout rooms, any questions about this process of going through the data analysis protocol?
And I just want to make sure that everyone does have access to your synthesis, your data analysis synthesis. Okay. And if not, it's on the hub, but I can drop it in as well if anybody needs it.
Yeah, can you go ahead and drop that in?
Yes, I will drop it in for the focus group.
All right, so now going into our task. This is a lot. We're going to go through and say what we're going to do before we go into breakout rooms, and then what you're expected to do in breakout rooms. So in district specific breakout rooms, we're going to have you spend 19 minutes working through the first 2 pages of the data analysis protocol focus group document. So before being sent to breakout rooms, we want everyone to open up your district specific focus group synthesis document, and then everyone open up a copy of the data analysis protocol document. I'm going to share the district specific synthesis documents in the chat now. Oh, thank you. Thank you, LaTanya. And here is Temple. Again, you only have access to your district. So if you work for Lidl and you're trying to get into Temple, you're not going to be able to. Make sure you click yours. So we want both of those to be pulled up, along with a copy of the data analysis protocol for the focus groups. Any issues in opening up either of those documents? No? All right. So once you're in your breakout room, first, as a team, we're going to have you quickly identify a lead to take notes on the final combined data analysis protocol. I'm going to share that in the Temple in the chat as well. Basically, within your district folder, again, I created one data analysis protocol that we want all of your combined notes to be taken on. Again, this will be the job of the lead. So as soon as you get into the breakout rooms, just quickly identify a lead who's going to be taking the combined notes. Even if you are the lead, we want you to be taking your own individual notes. You can take those on that combined final one, that's fine, but make sure you're doing your own independent reflection as well. All right, so then another job of the lead is to keep everyone on time. It seems really odd that we have these specific increments of time, but it's actually very intentional. A lot of times, and I'm sure you all have experienced this, when you are working in any type of data meeting, you know that sometimes we get pulled off track and we end up talking about something that's completely unrelated, and then we leave this data meeting with no next steps. The data protocol is really set to say we're spending a specific amount of time on each topic to really make sure that we all stay on topic, allow everyone to share their voice, and then lead to next steps. So first, you'll spend 5 minutes individually reviewing the patterns and themes noted on your district focus group synthesis document under the question, describe your ideal school day in 1 sentence. And this is on page 1 and 2 of your synthesis document. And during those 5 minutes, we're going to have you note your own factual observations on your data analysis protocol. That's the first page of the protocol. After you've done that independent review, you're going to spend 3 minutes sharing your factual observations while the lead takes note on that final combined analysis protocol. Once you've completed that, we're going to go into step 2 of the protocol, which is, again, identifying potential causes. So first, you'll spend 5 minutes reviewing the data collected, now noting potential causes of what you observed. Then you'll spend 3 minutes sharing what you noted as being a potential cause, while the lead take notes on the final combined analysis protocol. I'm going to share these steps in the chat as well and make sure that you all have that. But before we open up the breakout rooms, do you have any questions about kind of what is being asked of you? All right, well, we will jump around initially to make sure that everyone is feeling good. Again, I'm going to share in the chat the steps that we're asking that you take. All right, and I am going to open up the breakout rooms and we will come back together in 20 minutes. So that will be, what time is that, Latanya?
Oh, well, we'll just do 4:20. We'll come back at 4:20. If you click on join breakout room at the bottom, y'all should see the option to join.
All right, hopefully that time gave you some to kind of get acquainted with the data analysis protocol and what that process will feel like. So I want to spend some time talking about how that went for you. So how did the process of working through the analysis protocol feel for your team?
We
I
didn't.
thought it went, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, I thought it went really well. I thought people kind of had the same feelings about things. It wasn't an issue with finding commonalities. I think it's just, knowing how extensive to put it, like, there's a lot of things that cause certain things. So how do you keep that controlled?
I think ours went well. We had one overarching commonality that every campus had, and then after that, it kind of differed actually for us at our district. And so it was a matter of talking through the whole thing afterwards about why we thought that was, and trying to put that into words, you know. That was where we spent a lot of time. So it went well though.
Naomi, were you surprised at all? Naomi and team, were you surprised at all at that common theme that arose from all 3 campuses?
Not at all. It
Okay.
was having uninterrupted time.
Mm.
Yeah.
2, Salmon Temple.
How do you guys feel about the next step being from now until mid-June of you guys will be going through and working through the remainder of the focus group protocol?
I feel good. I think this was a good example of why it's so important to have the time to look through it and process it yourself before you meet as a group. So that you can kind of just talk as a group and not be trying to go through it all on your own.
I agree. I think that this time and the way you like timed it out makes a lot of sense to go through it that way.
I agree, because you could go on forever.
Yes, yeah, I'm glad you guys can appreciate the time. I know a lot of times there's initial pushback that I've experienced with some groups where it's like, it feels too rushed, we're not gonna have the conversations we need, but actually you are, because it's gonna keep you all on a timeline, making sure that you're staying on track, and really, it's a really important things are coming to light. And it's not that you're gonna miss out on anything, because you can have further conversations. It's just making sure you're getting all of the data reviewed in a timely manner. And leaving with actionable insights so that people want to come back and continuously look at data. It's not like, oh, when we talk about data, we just go down a rabbit hole and nothing happens. It's we're seeing something and we're putting together ideas around what should happen next.
And the goal is to meet again with our team before the 18th of June.
Correct. Yep. Yep. We'll talk about that in next steps, and we're actually going to give you time in another breakout room to kind of look through your schedules, determine when would work for you all to get together to do that as well. Awesome. So now we're going to jump into section 3. So that was talking about how we were synthesizing and analyzing the focus group data. But remember, we have all that time audit data that you collected as well. So we're going to talk about kind of what this process looks like. So first, in synthesizing the time audit data, we are doing that for you as well. So if you can make sure that you upload your completed observation data analysis, as well as your time diary analysis to your district folder, and then let us know when that's been updated, we'll be able to put together this synthesized document. The synthesized time audit document will include the following tabs. Time diaries tab, which will synthesize the data from all of the time diaries from all 3 campuses. Planning observation, and then if you did any instructional observations as well. I'm going to share my screen to walk through what that actually looks like and what you'll be receiving. And then also kind of an ask of you. So this is, make sure you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. So this is what the synthesized time audit data document will look like. And first on this time diary tab. So first up here, it's going to have the total number of time diaries collected per campus, and then you'll have your total number. This part is what I'm going to ask for your all help in, because this information isn't in that the summary data analysis. If you've uploaded all of your time diaries, then I can do this. But if you don't want to or haven't uploaded all your time diaries, you can complete this yourself. Again, we just need this information for the needs assessment to be able to say at each campus and overall, what grades were represented and what subjects were represented in the time diaries that were completed. We want to make sure and show that there was like a robust collection of time diaries. And if not, we can note it as a limitation and making sure that everyone's aware of that.
When you need that uploaded by?
Whenever you have it ready, or this part, it doesn't need to be updated until probably like the 18th. So the remaining goes through all, and again, is combining all that data from the time diaries. So the first question that this table is answering is, on average, how many total hours did teachers work each day and over the course of the week? So this will show by day, the full week, the average total hours teachers spent, campus 1, campus 2, campus 3, and then the overall district.
And
Also,
if it's white, it is actually going to be populated by us, right? Only the yellow is
Yes.
something that we're
Yes.
looking for.
Yes,
all
thank
to
you.
fill in. So Alex is just kind of walking us through what you'll be able to view already.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, the yellow is only what we're asking for you to do. The white will all be filled in. The next one is what is the range in hours, the minimum to maximum that teachers worked each day and over the course of the week. Again, looking at it by campus and overall. On average, how much total time was spent on each activity? I thought I brought over the activity names. I will change activity 1 and activity 2 to the specific names to help with analysis. But again, show it by campus and then district overall. And this is showing by day. So you'd be able to identify that. And then by overall week. The last one is what percentage of tasks were aligned to required teacher duties by day, and then that were above and beyond. So that's the first time diary synthesis. The next is the planning observation. This is another piece where the yellow is where I need your help in including this data. So first, it'll include the total number of planning observations that occurred. And then if you can just record what type of planning time was observed. So if you did 3 observations of PLCs at Campus 1, just put a 3 there. Again, this is just important for that needs assessment piece. And then all of this will be completed by this. What proportion of planning time observed was spent on the goals of the planning time at Campus 1, 2, 3, and overall, having the average align time, the minimum and the maximum. And then this is just kind of taking some themes high level and say, how was individual and collaborative planning time used? What trends did you see in the factors? And then additional reflections. And all these were noted on your instructional observation protocol or planning observation protocol. If you did instructional observation, this will also be completed. So this is the document that you will receive from us. Again, and that's following the same process. You'll use that to use your data analysis protocol. Any questions about that synthesized time audit data document or what I am asking of you?
So you don't want that done by the 18th. You just want the other one done by the 18th.
So it'll be both analyses done by the 18th.
Okay, so when will all of this be completed then?
What was that?
So when will all of this be completed for the teacher researchers to look at?
The synthesized data, as soon as all of the teacher time diary and planning observation data are uploaded on the hub, I'll go in and synthesize all of it and then share it back. I probably just need like 48 hours to be able to finish that. It'll probably be quicker. But if that can be like a prioritized next step for you all, I will be able to expedite this process.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I would definitely focus on doing the focus group data analysis because you have all of that data ready.
Quick question.
Mhm.
And this may have been answered in the document somewhere and I may have missed it. Do we have clear definitions of what a PLC is versus collaborative planning versus team meeting and such?
Not necessarily. I think it's up to your district and to kind of define what that means for you. Like if you don't use PLC, you use a different term for it, just include that.
So it's what the district calls that time period, not necessarily what's happening.
Yeah.
Got you. Okay, thank you.
So on this part of it, we're just adding the yellow in. Y'all do everything else and then that's it.
And then once you have the synthesized document, that's when we're going to go through and do that same data analysis process.
Okay.
It's just the first step is synthesizing it and combining all that data. So then you can review it all in one spot.
Yeah, and I think to that point, the sooner that we have everything uploaded to the hub for Alex to synthesize for the time audit, then within 48 hours, we can get that back to you all. synthesized.
So looking at, so we kind of talked about this, but looking at what this process looks like, it's again the same thing. When you're analyzing the time audit data, we want you to have both of these resources pulled up. One, your synthesized time audit data document, and then two, your time audit data analysis protocol. Again, this is different from the focus group data analysis protocol because it has these specific data chunks in there, or data groupings. You'll then work through the data analysis protocol, which will guide you through the synthesized time audit data. So the exact same process, you're just looking at different data. The synthesized time audit data, like I walked through, includes both the data from the teacher time diaries as well as the observations. And the table here is explaining how those collected data are grouped together to help you analyze and help make sense of everything. So the first group of data that you're analyzing will be total hours worked. And that group of data includes, on average, how many total hours did teachers work each day and over the course of the week? What was the range in hours? So when you're going through and you're doing that, you're going to be, again, looking at first those factual observations. What does that look like across campuses? Is it similar? Is it really high at one campus in comparison to another? Then you'll go into what could be causing this. The next group is hours worked by activity. So on average, how many total hours did teachers work each day? And over the course of the week, what was the range in hours? Task alignment. What percentage of tasks were aligned to required teachers' duties by day? What percentage of tasks were above and beyond? Planning time alignment. What proportion of planning time observed was spent on the goals of the planning time? And then planning time utilization. How was the planning time actually used? What trends did you see and factors that contributed to time aligned? So all of this is how the data is organized when you go through the data analysis protocol. Any questions about this process of going through and doing the data analysis protocol with the time audit data? So I am going to, we have another breakout room. Like I said, we're going to go give you time to talk about next steps. But before we do that, sorry, Lata, I'm going to switch it up really quick and kind of talk about next steps. So then you have that in mind as you go into the breakout rooms. So the first one that I said, ensure you've uploaded the following to the hub, one for each campus. So there's the planning observation data analysis document, and then the teacher time diary analysis. There should be one for each campus. Once all of those are uploaded, then I'll be able to do the synthesis. Then you're going to collaboratively analyze the focus group data using that analysis. And then you upload that to the hub. But the final collaborative one is actually already on the hub. So just make sure the notes are recorded in that one. And then same thing, you'll collaboratively analyze the time audit data using that analysis protocol, and you'll include all of that final data on the combined protocol that is in your district folder on the hub.
Alex, and this is by June. Oh, go ahead. Go to the next one.
Yeah. So that is ideally by June 18th. We have this deadline because your next training is June 11th. And that's when we're going to be preparing and talking about the July convening and how you're going to be translating your findings to present them on the presentation for during that time. So if you have to push it another week, that's fine. I would still have this as like, try to have it, but I know you all are busy with the end of school and all of that. So just keep us posted. I would keep that as a really try to have it done by, to give yourself enough time to prepare for the presentation, but also understanding that you all have a lot going on right now. So with all of that in mind, we're going to send you into focus groups. LaTanya, do you want to?
No, you can go ahead. Go ahead, Alex. It makes
Okay.
sense. Go ahead, keep going.
So in district-specific breakout rooms, again, we're gonna give you 7 minutes to discuss how you're gonna analyze the data for both the focus groups and the time audit. So really specifically think about, when will you analyze the data? Will you analyze the focus group and time audit data at the same time? And then who will lead the meeting? And then just be prepared to come back to share some ideas that you brainstormed with the whole group. Any questions before I open up the breakout rooms? No, and because we are running really good on time, I'm gonna keep them open for 10 minutes to give you guys some extra time to think about scheduling and logistics. If you're all done, you don't need more time, you can come back to the room. But I assume more time is always appreciated. So I'm gonna open up all the rooms and we will come back together at 4:48. LaTanya, do you want to jump in?
Sure, I can. So we'd love to hear about what plans did your team make to complete the analysis of both sets of data. Love to hear what you all discussed.
Okay, so Temple, feel like we will have everything uploaded and have time to look at all the data individually by the 10th. So we're going to meet on the 10th from 9 to 12 to try to get both of those done. And then I know that Miss Stephanie is waiting on the glitch with her data, but that should be fixed pretty quickly, don't you think, Alex?
Yes, I will talk to Stephanie after, but it should be all set now.
Okay, great, thank you.
Lido, we're going to be meeting June 10th also in the afternoon to get as much done as we can. That way, if we have questions, the meeting on June 11th, we can ask.
Perfect, perfect. Any other thoughts? How are y'all feeling about the overall process and moving forward? How's everyone feeling? Good, Temple?
I feel good now. I feel better after meeting as a district and kind of creating a plan. So
Yeah. Awesome. So I know we've just gone over this, but what's coming up? So just to revisit this, and you all have this deck to reference as a reminder of the dates, but May 2nd through the 30th, survey and baseline data analysis, that's what the DQI team is already doing. I think we've received data already from districts. May 28th through June 18th is the analyzed focus group and time audit data that's specifically for this group. So by June 18th, we're hoping that all analysis work has been done. Please just remember to communicate with us if adjustments need to be made. We understand the time of year and all of that. So we're happy to make adjustments. June 11th is our number 4 training, teacher researcher training number 4, and that will be data visualization and storytelling to help you get ready to prepare for July convening. And then June 18th, the deliverables, we're going to stamp this again, that are due is the focus group data analysis protocol and the time audit data analysis protocol. And again, these are the steps. Make sure you upload your observation data analysis document in your teacher time study, teacher time diary analysis to the hub so that we can, specifically for the teacher time diary and the observation, so that we can go ahead and analyze that data for you. Collaboratively analyze focus group data using an analysis protocol, upload 1 document as a team, and then analyze the time audit data using the analysis protocol. And remember, we just need 1 document uploaded. And that ends the session for today. Alex will drop in, or has already dropped in, the exit ticket for you all to fill out for today. And then you know that all information can always be found on the Information Hub that has also been dropped in the chat. Are there any questions before we end and let you go? Perfect. We thank y'all so much. The session for today, the recording today, and all of that will be uploaded on the hub. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out as always. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.